IULs are scams. Is it? Let's talk about it. So, on the interwebs, the interspheres here that we have here, one of the most popular financial strategies out there to help people are called IULs, otherwise known as Index Universal Life Policies. So what an IUL is they have two buckets. They have the death benefit, and they also have cash value. So the premiums that you invest every single month in your policy, it goes towards funding the death benefit, but the insurance company on your behalf is using that money to put towards a certain index, and depending on how the index does per year, they're accrediting the cash value account with that index, typically around 8 through 15% is what some people can get. And even in some accounts, they're uncapped depending on the strategy that you actually move forward to. But typically, this is what, on average, most people can expect to get back. Now, some years the market might go completely down, but in these policies, you never receive any market loss. So most policies have a floor of either 0 through 1%. So what that means is if the market does, let's say the market goes down about 20% in a year, all you would see is a floor. That means you wouldn't lose any money. So let's say you had 20,000 in an account. Most people who had 20,000 in an account, if they lost 20% in the market, that would be around, so 10% is 200, so that would be $400. They would have lost $400 in the market. Okay, you would have lost zero because your money is protected in this policy. Okay, so that's pretty much a basic understanding of the concept. Also, it gets a little bit deeper versus a basic overview. You always participate in the market uptick, but never participate in any of the market downticks. Okay, so it's a way to keep your money safe from market volatility. Okay, now for most people, the issue comes up two specific reasons. The reason why they say IOs are scams, and a big reason why is because they don't realize that it is insurance at the end of the day. In it being life insurance, that means that you have to qualify it with your health. It means you have to be at the proper age, uh, preferably non-smoker to get the best rates, preferably not have too many trips to hospital, stuff like that. And because of that, a lot of people not understanding the proper terminology to use when it comes to explaining this to people, a lot of people just believe that it's some type of account that they can just go to the supermarket and just buy, not realizing that you have to sit down with someone and actually go over, your finances. And some insurance companies will actually disqualify you based on your finances as well. You have to have what's called insurable interest. Okay. And so some people, because they don't fully understand the health side, they don't understand the all the underwriting side, they come into it thinking that they can just buy it like they're going to the supermarket and just put it in their basket and roll with it. And so a lot of people they get disqualified because their health and finances aren't where it needs to be. And so because they were sold the dream that they could just walk in and get it, a lot of people don't understand it's something that you actually have to qualify for. Okay, so that's part of the reason why people think it's a scam. That's number one. Number two that I've heard, a lot of people don't realize that the insurance company, they're not some gambling company. They're not FanDuel. So they're not going to show you like a whole bunch of really high margins. They're going to show you even less than the 8 to 50% that they actually are giving to their clients. What they're going to show you on an illustration is they're going to show you around 5% or typically around 6.6% at the highest. Okay, they're not even going to show you what the S&P 500 is doing and typically giving back 8% returns. They're not going to show that. They're about giving you safe, consistent returns back on your money. So when you look at the illustration, a lot of times illustrations will show you anywhere from around 0.125 to anywhere to the top about 6%. And so a lot of people, when they see that, they see that the policy within the next like 30, 35 years, some of the policy numbers are lapsing. So you're getting the insurance all the way to about 35, to about 35 years from now. So about, let's say you're 40, you have the insurance to about 75. That's what's on the low end. As if the S&P 500 or whatever market indices does $0 for the next 35 years. Okay, we know the S&P 500 has given 8% on average rate of return for the last 10 to 20 years. Okay, so when they show you that, they have to prepare your mind to understand that there is a small modicum of risk. And because they're not FanDuel, they're not some gambling company, they want to make sure that you understand that your money is going to be safe in this account. And so to probably understand it, they have to show you the lowest scale of possibility of what can happen. Okay, so they'll show you 0.125. If the market completely crashes, what will happen? They will show you that in the illustration, in the illustration, And so when some people see that, they're like, oh, well, this company is saying this right here, and this company is saying that right there. Why am I seeing an illustration of this? Again, because they're an insurance company, they're there to keep your money safe. And for you to understand how your money is going to be kept safe, they have to show you the absolute worst. They fully understand that this is what your money is going to do, but they have to show you this. Okay? So a lot of people look at the illustration, they really don't understand that, and because they don't have an agent to properly explain it to them, some agents don't even really understand it themselves. They think, oh, if I put money in here, it's going to lapse within 35 years. That's because they're showing you if the market completely does 0%. Okay? Your death benefit is still going to be there. Okay? Remember that. But the cash value, for some of the cash value, it might lapse. That's if the market completely goes to kaput every year for the next 35 years. Okay? Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. We understand that life insurance is the backbone of the financial world. Okay? We understand that banks, credit unions, a whole bunch of other different credit bureaus are putting their tier one assets in life insurance. So guess what? Your bank will fail before life insurance fails. You should understand again. Your bank will fail before life insurance fails. Okay? If life insurance fails, you know that some things are happening around you. You need to maybe go down to a bunker or something. No, but seriously. So that's reason number two why people think IULs are scams. So really not being properly explained. Okay? And really that leads us into really all of the levels of understanding. People aren't understanding what it really is. They aren't getting into it for the proper reasons. They think they're going to start becoming a millionaire overnight, and when the policy is just giving them $100,000 in the next couple of years, they're upset about that. So what people need to understand is need to have a level of understanding when they go into certain things, that it's not a quick overnight fix. Obviously, if you put $1 million in the policy, it's going to spit out a lot more money to you than if you just put $100 in the policy. Okay? Yes, your money's going to grow, but it's growing based on compound interest. Compound interest works based on the amount of money that you already have and the amount of money that you're already putting in there. If 8% is compounding, 8% compounding of $100 versus 8% compounding of $100,000 looks a lot different. Okay? So what we need to understand is that no, it is not a scam. What you need to just do is have a proper level of understanding of why you're doing it. A lot of people have different reasons why they're doing it. Either they're doing it for retirement, they're doing it because they put in a trust and they want the trust to start using this as a bank personally, or they just want to use it as a vehicle to start making other different purchases. You need to understand the reason why you want to do it and have the proper person explain it to you and put you in the proper structure to actually get there. And that actually leads me to number 3. Policy not set right. Okay. So the policy for a lot of people is not set up correctly. Now this is just basic. I'm not getting too weeds here. So if you have an IUL and you want to actually grow in cash value, there's something called option A, option B, or option C. Option A pretty much means level. It means level death benefit for the entire death policy. Okay. Option B means increasing. So that means the death benefit is going to increase. Option C is a mixture of both. Option C means you're increasing the policy for a certain level, and then let's say at age 60, you're stopping and the policy becomes level until age 120. So what that means is, if you have option A means that you're not going to have that much cash value growth compared to option B or option C. Now, what happens to a lot of people is that they come into an IUL thinking that they're going to have a lot of cash value growth, when unfortunately maybe the agent was new or didn't know, or something happened. Okay, but option A is just for people who just want a death benefit. Okay, they want a little bit of cash value, but they really don't care about it. They just want a nice bit of death benefit, and they want a little bit of cash value. That's all they want. Option B and option C is for people who want a lot of cash value growth. They don't necessarily want that much death benefit, but they care about having a death benefit at the same time. Okay, but they really want that cash to grow. Okay, so a lot of people, unfortunately, especially the people that I've looked at, some of their policies for what they actually want aren't set up correctly. They have option A when they really want option B or option C on their policy. Okay, or in different insurance companies that I work with specifically, they have ways that you can max fund the policy. And so what that does is it really decreases the death benefit and really pushes up the cash value. But again, you have to talk to your agent about that. And if that's what you actually want, that's what you have to say. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. Okay. So the reason why people think it's scams is because they have a lack of understanding behind it, and they have a lack of understanding of where they want to go in the future and what they actually want to accomplish. Okay. So no, it's not a scam. It's a very legit strategy. I put plenty of my clients, families, home members, people that I love inside of policies like these, and nothing's happened to them. Their money's actually grown. That's because we had a good conversation with one another and made sure that what we're putting each other in was what we wanted to actually be in. Okay? So that being said, take care.